I don't really glad to have gotten this. But I wonder, what else has everybody said about this? Has anybody else built? Wait. No, no one has a review of this thing up yet? I gotta do it! Okay, ladies and gents, this is going to be a first for me for ever actually getting a review up before pretty much everybody else. I know CS Toys has a demo and a picture gallery up as of this recording, and nobody else has a recording of a toy review of this particular toy at the moment. So excuse me if I judder and get a little squeaky about this. But since it's an actual figure, first we're going to look at the box. I'm going to say we're going to look at the box mostly because I've looked at previous S.I.Cs. And in previous S.I.Cs, the boxes are bland. They're mostly sideways like this, composing of either two figures or the gimmick of that toy being like the figure will be here and the rest of the parts will be right next to here. And they're usually bland and all look the same. This is the first S.I.C, or at least the ones I have found up to this point, that has been different. I mean, on the side you have a see-through version of Bata, Tora, and Taka here on the side. Excuse my camera, I can't. Yeah. And then the green, yellow, and red versions on the side as well. On the top you see Tatoba combo. Whee! On the bottom, the Japanese typical product information. I still have it slim open. And of course on the back we have pictures of the toy itself, which is kind of funny because this is actually a see-through package and you can go, hey look, I'm fixing to do all that with this thing. But yeah. I have some gripes about these legs already. Decent pictures all around. Yes, you can put these on one at a time. And I have to say, I have really good pictures. I mean, these are the same pictures that got me excited and were posted all over the internet by itself. And my camera says it focuses once right before I start the recording. And I do have one thing that shocked me. I'll leave this in the background for now. I will say this right now. This is mostly because this is in relation to the pictures itself. But in the pictures themselves, you see that this form comes with 3 cell medals. Now, I'm going to keep them in, they're in my metal jobber right now because they are tiny and they can be lost easily. One of the few things I'm going to address now is that in all the promo pictures, the cell medals are a dull gray. But in actuality, you can see them in there that they're actually shiny. You can see them reflecting the light. They are a chrome silver. They are not a dull metallic silver. They are shiny. More akin to the versions of the show. Now, the one thing I will address right now before I go any further is that, as you saw in my box opening in my previous video, that as I'm looking at the figure inside the OOO driver, 2 of the medals were missing. They were missing from the driver. As soon as I stopped recording the video, I opened it up. They were free floating around the whole box, and that does lead to one of my first complaints of the figure is that some things are tight, and some things are tight. And when you loosen it to do a certain gimmick, like the tilt of the OOO driver, it gets loose from, or at least on my figure, it gets loose from permanently. Like I can move it from the on and off position as much as I want. And I have to be careful on the little. I'll show you here. But let's take a look at the tray. Whoa. Caught on camera, people. Well, that's actually a good thing. The instructions fell out. The instructions are pretty much the same instructions for any kind of figure art. But behind the tray, as you can probably tell, was the Tatoba emblem. In a nice fading from green to yellow to red. And it says up there, Kamen Rider O's. Or Masked Rider O's, same difference. And of course it says Kamen Rider O's on both sides. And Super Imaginative TaJaDor Volume 64 on the both top. On both the bottom and the top. This box is huge and my display can't really hold the whole thing in frame. Oh, there we go. Just got a picture further back. Anyway, that's it for the box. And now on to the tray. Which, as you can tell, some accessories are missing. The main figure itself and what I just showed you, the TaJaDor. And of course, right here, taped in place, was the 3 cell medals. I instantly didn't want to lose these because these things are flippin' tiny. So, what's one of the first things I did? Crack open this thing up, crack open the TaJaDor, and put them in the TaJaDor. Now, I will say this right off the bat. When I first did this the first couple of times, I thought it was a peg and tab that held this little. You can see the segments apart right here. That held this part in place. And when the last time I took it off, I realized, oh shit, it's a peg and peg. So I almost broke the peg, and this thing is made out of clear plastic, so that thing instantly cracked. I went, okay, now I want to take the metals out because he has a hand that can hold all 3 metals. But upon doing that, I cracked this thing open, and I cracked it open at the wrong angle. The peg is now stuck inside. Let's see. See, like so. I thought there was a tab here that fit back here, but I was completely wrong. And as you can tell, you can see the broken tab right there. And this is the only bad thing about using this camera, people, is that upon going from, once it focuses, it stays focused, it doesn't autofocus. But yeah, you can see the 3 metals in there, and those things are tiny. I mean, they're that flippin' tiny. I can't get the detail on this camera, but opposed to the toy version of the TaJaDor compared to the one that comes with the figure, if I do remember correctly, the toy version comes with the Tora, Kamakiri, and Bata cell medals. If I do recall correctly. I'll probably put an annotation or something listing the correct cell medals. But the cell medals that are included in the set are the ones for the Taka, Tora, and Bata. Which, you know, if you think about it, it actually saves money in the sense that all they have to do is just make the same mold and just color one in completely chrome plastic like that, and the other and the colored plastic in the other ones. Now, as you can tell here, in this plastic tray contains the Bata legs and the Tora arms. Now, one thing I've always liked about O's is that when the first initial descriptions of O's was that he was going to use metals and he was going to use metals. That's one. Okay. 2. Each metal was going to be animal themed, and each animal was going to lend an attribute towards O's to help him fight the greed. To help them fight the greed. Now, when I originally first heard this, what this figure looks like and what it is what popped up in my head. When I first saw the suit, I was disappointed in that it didn't do something like this. Now I can understand if they did something like this, the budget would have to be a lot more expensive, and they would have a lot more suits to design. That's why if you actually look at O's suits, a lot of his suit design is very simplistic. Because not to mention you have metals that they constantly cycle out, they had to segment the suit so they can do that, and yada yada yada. I can completely understand that, but to a certain extent, I was disappointed that it did not do this. That's another reason why I'm such a big fan of Puto Tira. It's one of the hybrids where it can do stuff like this, but at the same time still be somewhat simplistic. Now, as you can see here, we have the Bata legs and the Tora arms. And down here we have hands that we'll get to here in a second. But first things first, the pièce de resistance. I have no idea if I said that right. The figure himself. Now, I will say off the bat, yes, I've already broken him. He is my first S.I.C. My first S.I.C. in general. Try to lower my camera here for a second. There we go. He is my first S.I.C. in general, so I had no idea. Should I treat him with kid gloves? Should I treat him like a figure art? Or is he heavy duty? Can he take some hits? Well, my answers were answered. I got this dude on Friday. I went to a regionals on Saturday. And I had to host my Pokemon League on Sunday. So I pretty much had little to no time to mess with this guy for those 3 days. But, well, today's Tuesday. I had enough time to mess with him today and yesterday. As well as, I will say this dude, I had him posing with the Bata legs and the Tor arms through the weekend, and he fell twice. And before I start the review, I will say this. The clasp holding the shoulder thing broke because of those falls. So the rest of the review, I'm just going to take this away. And, yeah. Okay, fine. It's the first review ever up on YouTube, which means the contract. Okay, I'll see. It means I gotta show you everything. And I mean everything about this thing. I hate this thing. Not that. Contract. This big as a textbook. I'm not kidding. See? Big as a fucking textbook. Okay, first things first. Well, aside from the shoulder pad coming off, which I can actually do this in... It does have some nice specs on, and all over this toy there is this nice clear plastic to represent the little energy lines that run from the main chest plate here all over to the accessories that it powers, like the claws and the legs. But, to get that out of the way, since I will be doing the rest of the review without this, but that is a word of caution I will say, is that this thing has survived around an almost 6-foot fall twice. And the clip holding on to the shoulder pad, which is in there, you can't see it because of the light. There you go, you can kind of see it. It broke it just enough so it will hold onto it. It will hold it, but it will not keep it held in there. Like, I can have it put in there like this, and it'll hold it in there, but it won't clip in. Like so. But, what? As for the hands, aside from the 2 fists it came with, it does have 2 pairs of ragey hands and very nice metallic silver, gold. 2, I guess you can say, relaxed hands. And of course, 2 holy things hands. I'm holding these in the wrong way. And then 1 special hand that is meant to hold all 3 cell metals. I have no carpet, and things tend to bounce when I drop things. So that's why I instantly put the cell metals in here. I kind of already showed you the size of those anyways. Aside from that, you do get the Tora claws. Again, in a very, very nice metallic sheen color, which is coming off a little bit brighter on my camera. Nice giant paw there. I just love how, and each claw is on a ball joint, so you can have him like really splay these things out and be like, oh, rawr, I'm gonna cut you up. Tipped with a nice black that fades into it. God, I just wish my camera would focus so I can show the details on this thing, because this is so awesome. Both left and right are the same. And now to the insect legs. I mean, what can I say? They look really insectly and catches the image of, hey, he's driving his power from a grasshopper, and these look grasshopper-y. I know I'm trying to put this short and simple, but what can I say? I mean, the details in these things make it look like it came off of a grasshopper. And of course you got a little ball joint in there, which can be weak sometimes. You know, and just really good care and detail to this toy. And like I said before, this is my first S.I.C, so excuse me if I tend to drool a little bit, you know? Well, and onto the figure himself. Okay. I'm sorry I keep cutting in and off. As I said, I'm running into problems of both my memory cards filling up and my battery dying. So please bear with me. Okay. So onto the figure. Onto the figure itself. Now, as with the tradition of S.I.C copying that year's gimmick line, this can separate into 3 separate parts that will combine later on with TaJaDor. And they did already announce gimmicks and La Torta or Ra Torta, whatever your pronunciation, whichever one you favor. And to help further show this off was that one of the first pictures we saw of people messing with the S.I.C is that the little panels can come off. And of course, I can't freaking bring it up for details because my camera doesn't like to focus. It likes to auto-correct the colors, but not focus. And another word of caution is that these little tiger spikes, which can move individually, they are pointy. I mean, they are sharp, pointy. Like, they can hurt you pointy, but be careful with that. But still, the detail on this thing just blows my mind. The torso is asymmetrical when it comes to the design, which way it wants to go. Like over here on the shoulder pad, you can see it. It has actual tiger stripes, and those tiger stripes continue down into the arm. And of course, on the other side, well, it looks the same. My bad. But the shoulder pads are asymmetrical. And of course, to help show off the feather head, they have this feather, I think not a cowl, or a collar. And this whole thing is one piece. So if I want to like put the Taka head on the Katagiri Ba body, all I have to do is just take this off and replace the head. Now, like I said earlier, the belt can go into the off position and the on position. And of course, to be very careful, there you can see the medals. Those do come out, and he can't hold them. But for the sake of me losing them, which I've already done almost twice already, I'm not going to do it. His medal holder on the side does open up, and it is big enough to hold all 6 medals. Again, almost lost him because of that little experiment. And of course, being S.I.C, even his scanner got a big upgrade to be a little bit more epic. And it actually does, as you can tell, it does have clear plastic, so if it did have lights, it would light up, which would be really awesome. There's the metal holder. And of course, more of this insectoid detailing. His feet are plastic. They do bend down. They do have a toe joint. And I never noticed this about O's. The design on the bottom of his feet. I guess that's because we never actually got a good look of his feet, and only used a rider kick a couple of times. Now, posability with him, I do have a minor complaint here and there. As for example, his arms can't really go straight down. That's as straight down as I can put them, right there. Which, looking at it from this angle, it's actually not a bad pose. And I gotta push his cowl down. There we go. He does have double jointed elbows. His elbow, he can go up and can scoot up a little bit and scoot back down, forward and backward. Yeah, once you get that cowl loosened, why do I keep calling it a cowl? His collar. Once you get that loosened up, it keeps wanting to pop up. Oop, hit the camera. It keeps wanting to pop back up. His butt and the back of the legs. So, again, the detailing in this thing. The mini bata legs back here. Spikes. The knees are made out of different plastic. I think they're made out of some kind of just a harder plastic. Move my camera back. He does have a body rotation. a waist joint, and you can kind of see there's a gap in there because this likes to get stuck every once in a while, mostly because of the belt. Really good body posability. The head, oh dear God, the head is just like on two. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about right there. I bumped the driver. The front-facing plate fell off, and now I'm not editing this out because this is an actual slight problem with the toy. Now I did find my super glue recently, so I might super glue these pegs to be a bit thicker. But then again, if I get Gatsukiri Ba or TaJaDor or Dole, again I'm saying both pronunciations just so I'm not like bugged for it. I can interchange these things out. And God, all the paint on this thing is just outrageous. And even some of the details, like look at this, he has metal scuffing on his ankles or anklettes, whatever the one you would call these. I spent the first 5 minutes of this toy just looking at it because it was just so detailed oriented. Yeah, his waist section got stuck. Oh, there we go. Now, to attach the to attach the whatever you want to call them, I'm just calling them the true power parts. These things, either whatever you want to call these, to attach these parts, I'm going to say true power parts. Some people are going to say, well, that's what they look like when they initiate the scanning charge. We never got an official word on what these things are. So we can assume what they are. I mean, the book doesn't even say what they are. Or if it does, I can't read it because it's in Japanese. I mean, there's the small metals, there's how to replace it, there's to replace the emblem on the chest, what I'm fixing to show you. There's the hand stone, you can hold all three cell metals. The holy hand can hold both the scanner and the TaJaDor, which, as I showed in the instruction, I forgot to show. The little drop thing, it moves. Can you believe that? It actually moves. I mean, granted, yes, the slot up here is just a tiny bit thinner than what the metals actually are, but neat feature. I'm really digging that blue they use for the blade. It's the same blue they actually use in the toy and in the show. But, okay, which way do these things go? Ah, there we go. It's supposed to go this way. You can kind of tell by which way the little nubs are facing out. But first things first, you do it by basically just pulling these things off. The first couple of times you do it, they are tough. I will give it that. And you do have to push these in at a slight angle to get them in. And once you do, they actually do hold up pretty well, and they don't move. The joint stays pretty tight. Gotta get these out of the way. Now, I did try to display this dude with all these parts attached to him, but that resulted in him in being too front heavy. I posed him the wrong way, and well, he dropped. See, certain parts are very loose on this figure, which could be able to complain, but at the same time, it's just a complaint. There are some parts that are loose on this guy. See, now both claws are on. And I usually had him posed like this in like a little rage pose. Arms spread a little wide. Like that. Oh yeah, that's one. God damn it. It shows you how I just do these reviews by the fly of my pants. When you first get this guy out of the box, his joints are tight. I mean, you hear pops when you first undo when you first do the biceps, you have to fight to get those things unlocked. But like the joints, like the elbows and the knees, those are fine. The body was a pain in the ass the first time I had to pull it apart. The head was a pain in the ass the first time I pulled it apart. But then once you first do it, you know I guess you can know the limitations of the toy, and you're able to do it more and more often. And again, there's details I want to show, but I can't really show them. Like, I can't show the compound eyes. You can kind of see them. Oh yeah, and there's the jewel. Worst S.I.C review ever. Now the legs, I do have a slight problem with. That they do have this gap in the back, which I have a tough time. It gets in there, but what I'm guessing, that gap is for that. There we go. And you just slightly bend the leg like that. God damn it! There it goes again. See, that's what I'm talking about. Is that belt is just so fucking touchy, or at least on mine it is, and it just gets on my nerves. That's why I'm so hesitant on messing with this guy, because I don't want to lose parts all over the place. And one reason why I'm not losing parts all over the place is because the way I'm set up is that I have a drawer open on my dresser, and it catches all this. And that's another reason why I like to do these reviews live and not unedited, so I can show you what goes wrong during the filming process, and you can see exactly what does go wrong. Okay, for some reason both these things are bent. See? These legs better positioned. Okay, there we go. That's why he wasn't fiddling right. Okay. And kapow! Get all this stuff out of the way. First S.I.C review, so give me a chance, please. Overall, this dude is a worthwhile purchase, and just like all the other S.I.Cs, there will be more to come, especially if this dude does well. As we can already tell, as we already know, TaJaDor is on the way. He's actually up on pre-order last time I checked on AmiAmi.com. I'll provide a link to both this and TaJaDor in the link description below. Oh, there they are. Boom. Now this driver's cover does have a specific way it has to go on. You just can't put it on. There we go, like that. Now, my complaints versus praises. The complaints, some of the joints are very tight and can almost seem like you're breaking it upon first opening. Some of the parts, as you saw, are very loose, and if you hit it in a certain way, it will come just right off, flying over the place. And just like all other S.I.Cs, this thing has small parts, including all the metals. So make sure if you're handling this guy, make sure you're handling him on a desk or a dresser or someplace with a large surface. So if you accidentally do hit those things, you can actually catch the parts before they fly away. When there was actually at one point, this dude fell and he literally exploded. I couldn't find the Taka or the Tora metals, and and it took me a day and a half to find one of his Tora claws. It flew off. I did find it eventually, as you can tell. Now the next one, the TaJaDor, is going to be more expensive. Well, why? Because his parts are bigger. Compared to him, his parts are really small. TaJaDor's is coming with a full wing set and a full complete separate legs that have eagle talons as the claws. Now, I can't wait to get a hold of that, because not only is the details as in these clear translucent pipes leading up to the chest, but also as in each individual part is attributing something from the animal it's supposed to be representing. You got the insectoid-like armor on the legs, the fur and the stripes on the arms, and then you got the feathers and the hawk head as the head. This dude is severely posable, and you can really get some amazing poses from this guy if he doesn't topple over. But which is one big complaint, is the ankle joints from these legs. Not from these legs. I had this dude posed with the main legs for the longest of times, and he did not topple over one bit. And the one time he almost did topple over was because of my doing, from hitting my shelf too hard from opening my door. So from being one of the first people up on YouTube with a review of this, tell me what you guys think. Did I do this figure justice? Did I did horrible? This is my first S.I.C, so I can't really hold it up to any other standards, but it's just wowing me. I wish I had a better camera to show the details in. This is one of the few toys that I will get myself in a really deep situation to get a better camera to show you guys the details of this thing. Now, I will be providing pictures later on in a later update video to help show off these greater details, because my camera can capture those details. And it will be posted on my channel. Again, I'm excited about this line. I cannot wait to get more of the complete forms and do the whole the gimmick change of the toy line, where I can swap legs, swap arms, and swap heads. And I'm really excited about the head for TaJaDor, whatever, his red form. Thanks to the way the visor looks, when you look at it as a profile view from the side, it actually looks like an eagle head, almost like this does. It's more of an eagle head than this is. And man, the head joint, again, this head joint on this thing is just outrageous. Blah, 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 blah. So once again, guys, please let me know what you think. Did you like this figure? Did you grab this figure? Did this review help you grab a figure of your own? Which I highly recommend that you go out and you do right now, if it's not out of stock, which last time I checked it was. Is it just that popular of a figure? Let me know. Comment, rate, subscribe. Yet again, another plug. Check out all my other websites. Check out the podcast I'm a part of, Tokyo Anime News. And I hope you guys have a good day and take care.